seems like she's really in the meeting.
We're recording right now.
Are we? Okay,
yeah.
better not say anything.
Yeah, I don't know who, nobody knows who we're talking about.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Marna.
Welcome.
Lovely home you have here.
Thank you.
Out in the country. I
Thank
love your
you.
home.
Thanks, that's really lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have done some amazing interviews with all kinds of camp folk. And Kelly really decided that you needed to be interviewed, which I completely agreed with. So Kelly and you did an interview together, but it didn't turn out very well.
We did. We sat at the school across from our house under some pines, and she interviewed me, but we never noticed, like, the shadow from the camera was right on her face. Even when I was talking to her, I didn't realize it was on her face. So there is another interview that she's reluctant to put out in the world because
she's in the shadow.
Yeah, she's in the shadow.
She doesn't
she's
believe
in my shadow.
She does not deserve to be in anyone's shadow.
No.
So instead of that interview, we're doing another interview.
At your house in Meaford.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is so exciting.
It is very exciting.
So we know from those interviews that you were at camp from 1988 until 1996.
True.
It's only 8 years. I thought you were at camp way longer.
I
than
took
that.
off one of those years. I took off
Really?
one of those years to go to teacher's college. So really, I was there 7 years, or maybe it'd be 8 in total. It'd be 8 in total. But then I was like on the camp committee, and I was training the staff during orientation.
And aren't those included in the 96?
And I just come up and hang out.
I just think it's remarkable because I really thought you were there way longer than that. Because of all the things you've done for camp, maybe.
And I was never a camper. Like, if I were a camper, you could add on like 8 more years, but
that's true.
I don't have diabetes yet.
Ooh, nice ad. Hopefully you never get diabetes.
Well, would you have preferred to not have diabetes, have a different life, or have gotten diabetes and had Camp Uranda?
Well, Camp Uranda, I'd take that.
So you'd take the diabetes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But you
But think about it. Yeah, isn't that crazy? That somebody would say, oh yeah, I'll take a lifelong disease so that I can have my friends.
Well, camp had a remarkable impact on me. What kind of impacts did camp have on you?
Well, big ones. Big impacts.
Would you have gone to teacher's college if you hadn't gone to camp?
Potentially, yes. Just because I had an English degree and English and philosophy, and, you know, I probably would have had to take another step there. Maybe it would have been teaching, but I probably wouldn't have ended up in outdoor education. I'd probably just be in a classroom teaching English. Yeah.
What else?
What else? Impacts. Well, I mean, I think you said at a meeting recently that when you came to camp, it was the first time you felt like you'd been seen. And sorry.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go that far. I won't say that far, but like you could even today, like there's a lot of awkwardness to to my personality, or quirkiness. Let's call it quirkiness.
Yeah, you're quirky.
There's quirkiness, and just to suddenly be in a place where like that's kind of celebrated, or that you're acknowledged and valued, and like I think that's what is the gist of what everybody has gotten out of camp. Like I never got, because I don't have diabetes, like I've never had that level of that other layer on top where like I was like the only diabetic in my school and I was the only diabetic in my family, and now I found these people. I didn't have that thing, which is like a whole nother layer for most people at camp. But like I couldn't even, like my first year, I couldn't really believe that such a place existed in the world with all these people. Like I just felt blessed that I showed up. On a fluke.
I don't really remember you very well your first year. I remember you being really quiet.
Yeah.
And a little bit awkward and toenail biting guy. in the staff lounge. I remember that so clearly. Like I can.
Yeah, chewing my toenails. Yeah, like there's quirkiness. Like who's
Yeah, who would do that in front of a whole room full of people?
chewing their toenails? Yeah.
But you got a nickname that year. Maybe you got it the next year. But you would see things and notice things that other people wouldn't notice. So what was your nickname?
The Observer. There was a skit on Saturday Night Live where one of the guys would say, "He's the copier. He copies," and say, "Oh, he's the manager. He manages." And so Todd one time said, "He's the observer. He observes." Yeah.
Well, it stuck. That's a perfect.
I think it was, yeah.
That's a perfect nickname for you because it's so appropriate. I have a list of questions because I'm not nearly as natural interviewer as you are. In that first couple of years, was there someone on staff that you really thought you looked up to, that you'd want to be more like, or that you appreciated the way they entertained, the way they did skits, the way they treated their campers?
Well, I think I said this a lot in my interviews, is that Craig Floyd was the cool guy when I got there. For me, anyways. Like, I don't know what you... Maybe you had a different view of Craig Floyd. But he was playing guitar, and he was...
He was cute.
I guess so, yeah. And he had the hair,
Yeah.
and just kind of a... Yeah, I enjoyed Craig Floyd. But like Jeff McNamara,
Yeah.
when I did Adventures, like he was very helpful, and he was a good guy. But I really, like, if I look back, like the female staff were a lot stronger than the male staff in my early years, anyways. That you had like just like Tracy Pearso and Joe Day and Joey Robertson and you and Heather, and Mellon was the assistant director my first year, and like I think female staff, maybe historically, or maybe, I don't know, like at the start everybody talks about the Mike Bruces and the Ian Folds, but I think in my time it was female staff that was stronger. Yeah, and who was that guy that stood up at chapel and said like it was so important for me to have female role models?
Oh, at the reunion?
Yeah, what was his name? Ian?
That's terrible, I don't remember.
I don't know.
I have a terrible memory.
I'd like to be friends with that guy. He seemed like a with it guy. I think if I were 17, I'd look up to that guy.
Oh, I'm vaguely coming back to me, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. We'll
That's
put
cool.
what do you call it? We'll put words on the screen. We'll put words on the screen.
Closed captioning?
No, that's just telling people what words we're using. It would be, we'll put the name of the guy we're talking about after we Google him.
Okay, that's a
Right,
good idea.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
I think his name was Ian.
So, you were 19 when you came to camp?
Yeah.
Right? And did you feel like you're an adult? You know stuff when you went to camp? Do you feel like you had lots to learn still?
The diabetes side of things was probably the most intimidating. Like, I knew nothing about diabetes, and in orientation, you're pricking their fingers and pricking everybody else's fingers and drying up insulin and giving another staff member insulin, and then 6 days later your kids show up and you drop their insulin, you give them needles, because I had like 3B, my first cabin, and so the doctor just gives you a little tiny piece of paper and you go, all right, I'm going to give this kid some life-saving medication in a syringe.
I never used to think much about that, but as you're describing it, and I see sort of the fear and like unbelievable feeling in your eyes, I think that would have been incredibly intimidating, no?
Yeah, but I'm sure it never happens now. And I don't, I never washed my hands before going into the rec hall to give needles to kids, right?
I never did either.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre.
There's alcohol wipes. Hey, that did something, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, that was probably the biggest hurdle, was just, and you wake up in the night and some kid is like having a seizure and like, in the cabin.
Do you remember the names of all your kids in 3B?
No, but I remember one. Jason, he had a last name J too. Not Jason Yetzi, no. Jason, remember he got sent home because he quacked like a chicken. Remember this kid? You would remember. Jason Johnson.
Oh, I kind of remember. I think Jason Johnson was my camper in 4A.
All right. But the kids, one day started quacking like a duck. And all day long. So this is like a 9-year-old kid quacking and not stopping. And like people are like phoning his parents, say your son's quacking like a duck. And like, well, we thought like this is like because there was no break to it. There was no, like he'd stop and talk or something. He just quacked.
So if you asked him a question, he'd just quack back?
Quack. Yeah. And so the doctor said, like, I think this is just him, acting. But it went on for so long that his parents got called and he had to be sent home.
How many days into camp do you think?
I don't know. Maybe I think like halfway.
Wow.
But yeah, I'd like to get Jason Johnson. We should have a conversation.
Maybe I should start looking for Jason Johnson and we can talk to him about it. Maybe it ruined his life because he got sent home from camp. Maybe he never went to another camp again.
But like at the time, nobody thought that a 9-year-old could keep this up. That there would be something you could distract them with or give them or feed them that would change things. But no. Yeah, all day
like
long.
That?
Yeah, like Donald Duck.
I have a vague recollection of this, but...
So I remember that kid. And there was another kid that beat up the other kids in my cabin, first cabin.
And it made you want to be a counselor again? Were you a counselor 2 years in a row?
Well, I had 3B, and then they made me a floater for the next one because they said, "Oh, you had a tough cabin group, now you're a floater." But then some other counselor got fired in the middle of B camp. Remember the guy who said he was gonna put the pickle and the margarine?
No. I don't have a memory like this.
And Mike Matze was in that cabin in 4A. So a guy that I'm now like very good friends with. We're in a band together. He's coming over to my house in a couple weeks.
Oh, good.
But he was in 4A. So I would have been 19. He's 8. And now we're friends.
Now you're buddies. That's so cool.
You remember the counselor that got fired? Like he told the kids like the planes that were flying over were Russian and we're gonna bomb and stuff. And, like,
no, there's a few people.
Well, see, this is why the female staff were better than the male staff. Is the female staff wouldn't tell kids that there were spy planes flying over that were gonna drop bombs on them.
No, there's a few people that got fired over the years, and it was always sad.
Yeah, I think I said in Linda's interview that she fired Sean Erickson. You remember that guy?
I remember the name, dark-haired kid.
Yeah, but she was asking me, like, do you think I should fire Sean? Like, has he done enough to get fired? Like, he obviously didn't fit into camp and was not a good counselor. But I enjoyed that she asked me that she thought enough of my opinion her first year as director to...
Was I? Oh, I was assistant director then.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there a job at camp you wish you had done that you didn't do? Trip hut?
No, not trip hut. Everybody loves the trip hut people. Like,
I know.
Yeah, we're stopping in campfire to talk about trip hut, all the great things in trip hut for half an hour.
I know.
Like, what's that about?
Trip Hut has a lot of great people in its past.
I guess so,
But there's no
Like-
job you don't want to be craft lady, or
no.
that's good. So you just
There was a couple of years. I'm gonna say like 97 or 98. Like, I think there was a couple times where I had a cabin group. Because I remember one time,
and you would have gotten to go on all the CIT trips too when you were CIT coordinator.
yeah. So I did CITs for 4 years, and
Wow,
so I do 2 a year. So yeah, a lot of trips.
that's a lot of trips.
You went on 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
And Ian Folds. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I got to know Ian Folds. Was
And then the outdoor connection with Ian Folds too.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. What would you say the 2 greatest things you learned at camp, or lessons you learned at camp? Or one lesson, one other skill or something?
2 greatest things I learned at camp. Like, I probably learned how to play guitar at camp. So that was a good deal.
That's huge.
Like, I remember somewhere in there, I think in my first year, somewhere I did like, maybe it was when I was a floater. I did some night nursing as well. And I remember, I don't know, Craig or Pete saying I could just use their guitars. So I remember like practicing like in the middle of the night,
That's cool.
playing guitar. Yeah.
And now look at you. You write songs, you play songs, you have a band, all
Yeah.
because of camp.
Because of camp, that's right. So that's, what's the question?
That one's huge. All the
Skill.
lessons or skill you learned.
Skills?
Or lessons, like,
I was saying, telling somebody else like sailing. I love sailing at Camp Huron. I know there's no sailing anymore, but like there was no sailing instructor, right?
that is, no.
Like you just
You
got
kinda
in the
just went-
boat.
Well, when Ian Leach was boating director, he had a big, huge sailing background, so he did teach sailing when he was canoes.
Yeah.
Or boating director, but after that, I don't think anybody. I learned to sail like you did on a Petrel or the Hobie Cat. Remember the Hobie Cat?
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved that too.
Yeah. You
That's
died,
fun.
right? Ian
Yeah,
Leach?
yeah. Yeah, awful.
So sailing and guitar playing. Like if you wanted to get, if the question is what skills.
Okay, and what lessons? What sort of interpersonal lessons, maybe, or?
Personal lessons. Can you give me an example?
No,
Like,
I'm trying to think
be
of
nice
one.
to people. But maybe
Yeah,
maybe I learned
sure.
how to be nice to people.
Okay, and how to live communally, kind of. Not like we were sleeping in the same room or anything, but you have to learn to get along with so many different kinds of people. You don't have to learn if you don't want to, but you won't last long at camp if you don't learn something about getting along. Although at camp it felt easy, didn't it? You didn't have to work at getting along with others.
I think that's just a glowy retrospect on your part.
Yeah,
Like, there were
maybe.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, that's a
Pick
tricky,
the- pick
that's
the
a
next
tricky one. Okay, is there any particular program you remember working on or executing that you think was the most awesome program?
Well, when I was program director, King Arthur Quest was a big one, and we had a lot of neat areas that we were using around camp that people didn't normally go to, like by the stream. You know where that stream was back behind Pinecone Paradise?
Yes.
We had like a camp set up back there, and Kelly was on a horse and nearly fell. She had to come up from the stream and like ride off with every little group that came up, and like she rode up this embankment, and the horse is like on its back legs tilting backwards, and up it goes.
Oh,
Yeah,
was Kelly afraid? Do you remember?
I was afraid. I don't know, but it was, I mean, that was good. And then we woke the kids up at midnight and brought them out to it. In the Adventures field, it was lined with torches, and we had a joust, and the good night won, and then the bad night fell off the horse, and Kelly's horse, she was the bad night, and she was chosen to be the bad night because,
Because she knew how to fall off a horse properly.
well, we thought of all the people in camp, she was best able to fall off a moving horse. So she falls off the horse, and the horse goes galloping past the kids up
To the barn.
up to the past the insulin, and it was on its way to the barn, but it was a good entertainment.
sounds
That was
like-
good entertainment.
That sounds like a very exciting program.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think they wake the kids up at midnight anymore for stuff?
No,
Like,
I know. I don't think they probably do. I don't really understand how it all works there now.
Yeah.
There's director, program, like there's so many different jobs there now than there were when we were there.
Yeah.
It seems way more complicated, but still awesome. Are you going to try and make it for alumni camp in June? June 2023?
Sure.
It's a weekend. It's super fun.
I feel the need to reconnect with the camp or stay connected somehow, and I think we have to be able to go there.
Yeah.
And outside of alumni camp,
There's not a lot of
how do you get there? Yeah, you
opportunities.
got to get there.
So we'll make this the reminder invitation to everybody who misses camp to come to the alumni camp.
Yeah. Is there a limit on the number of people that can come?
I don't know that. I'm
Because
going to say
maybe with the
no.
reunion, there was no alumni camp before, after previous reunions, so maybe after this reunion we just had, maybe people are more.
Yeah, I think so
Open
too.
and
I think
available.
so too.
Yeah.
And I think camp just wants to raise money, and they have to charge us to go there. So I think there won't be a limit on. Well, I guess the cabins will be limited.
Yeah.
Because if a lot of families come, then the cabins. Each family stays in a cabin.
What did you think about sleeping in the swamp when we were there?
I liked it. It was fun. Well, I got to room with you and Kel, so
I wish there was a railing on the top bunk. Like, that would have helped me a lot for sleeping.
it would have been helpful for me if there was a railing on the stairs walking up to the cabin.
It's probably code.
Probably.
Code, Campion.
Yes. So that should probably happen. The railing should be fixed at the bed. The bar on the bed should be fixed. The railing should be fixed. Maybe you and I should become the health and safety.
Well,
folks
I
at
was
camp.
saying to someone else, like, if there were an alumni cabin, which there was talk of turning the torn down
Little cabin in the woods.
cabin into an alumni cabin. Like, if that were an alumni cabin, like 4 people could come up and stay. Like, if you told them you have to work the whole time you're here, people still come.
Yeah,
they'd still come
absolutely
and
they
they'd
would.
work and they'd fix things and paint stuff, and so I think that should be a thing.
Well, somebody said it might even be up before next summer.
I heard something different. I
Oh.
heard a news story.
What did you hear?
Well, something different.
How different?
Well, I don't know.
You don't want to say it on air?
I guess not.
All right. That's too bad.
Well, we'll see. Maybe one of us has heard the right thing and one something different.
Maybe. All your years at camp, you would have had a few roommates or cabin mates.
Yep.
Over the years. And is there one particular cabin mate that you can think of that you were most comfortable with, or it was easygoing rooming with them?
Well, my second year at camp, Heather told me I'd be rooming with Todd in the swamp. And so that was its own world. Like, that was, yeah. That was a whole thing.
And how many years did you room with Todd? It was a couple of years, wasn't it? Was
Yeah.
it like 3 years you roomed at the swamp?
Well, I can't remember. Like, I was in there with Paul for quite a few years as well. Like, probably all the
Wow.
years I was CITs, Paul was program
Director. So Paul first and then
No,
Toddy?
Todd first and then Paul.
Wow. And all this time I thought you were at camp with Brian Pitts and that you guys were in the swamp together, but you never even worked with Brian at camp.
No.
But you're really good friends with Brian, but you didn't work together. And do you have any recollection on how you became good friends with another camp person, but you didn't work at camp together?
Well, we ended up in the same circle of friends. the same circle.
All right.
I remember Brian Pitts, my first year at camp, coming up to visit, and all the girls in the staff lounge going, "Oh, Brian's here, Brian's here." I was like, "Who?" And why are all these girls getting all giddy? Why are they getting all schoolgirl like all of a sudden?
Well, between Brian Pitts and Craig Floyd, they pretty much had the girls in a gaggle.
Yeah, they're all in love with him. That's why they were giddy.
Is that why?
Mm-hmm.
You should hear the girls when you go to camp now.
Is that how,
yeah, giddy.
I have a son that's older than the girls who go to camp.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How old's your son?
20.
What's his name?
Sawyer.
What's he do?
He's in school to become a pilot.
Where did that interest come from?
I don't know. When he was like 10 years old, he said he wanted to become a pilot. He never let go, yeah.
That's pretty cool. He's living his dream. You've written a few songs at camp.
Yeah.
For camp, about camp. I'm in love with camp.
Yes.
Camp is love.
Yes, and love camp. And camp, love.
Really?
And for the love of camp.
Seriously? I don't think I know
No,
those.
I'm making those up.
Oh, okay.
Because of
Okay, which of the songs that you wrote for camp is your favorite?
well, I remember changing the words to the Neil Young song Helpless to turn it into Camp is Love. I remember writing that with Paul Irvin, and Paul wanting the chorus to be Camp is Love. And I was like, I can't sing that. But it turned out to be a big hit at camp.
It was a big hit.
Yeah, and so I think that, like, the next year I wrote I'm in love with camp.
And which of those do you enjoy performing the most?
Probably the I'm in love with camp. I don't know. I think Todd was in on the words of that one too.
Was
in
he?
the program office, yeah.
Do you
I
feel
think
like
we did that just for like a Native Day thing. Because on Native Day you had to like
right.
go away with like Stuart Girls or something and make up a song
Yeah.
or something. So
And you did that for like that?
yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Do you feel like performing that song now?
Why don't we well, I don't know. I could.
Or would you rather leave it to the end and then we can fade out?
I might have to think about what the chords are. I know I played it, but every time I play, like, people think I can just remember songs I've written, but I can't, and the words. So I'd have to like tack it on the end and edit out the tuning and stuff. Or?
Yeah, I'll give you to the end. Yeah, I'll give you to the end to think about how that works. Well, but we don't have that much more questions here, so we might have to just...
I'm enjoying this. I think this is a good interview.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
for sure.
Well, that makes me happy. Are there any questions that Kelly asked you that you thought were really great questions that you'd like to repeat here? What year did you fall in love with Kelly at camp?
Well, we smooched in '90.
Where?
Well, I think in '90 there was a work week before camp started. So a lot of times some of the senior staff that are in university would come up and paint stuff and do things before orientation week.
Yeah.
So I think there was a snuggle, like some snuggling
Yeah.
that happened that week. And then at some point during the summer, there was some smooching on Kinsman Beach. And we told Denise Keeley and Sarah Marshall we'd meet them at the movies.
Oh, I thought it was Joe
movies.
Day and Joey Robertson that you told.
No, I think it was Sarah Marshall
Okay.
and Denise Keeley.
Okay.
And we said we'll meet you at the movies, and we just never showed up because of the smooching.
Well, yeah. It's a big beach to cover.
Yeah. Do you want to go see like The Mask, or do you want to keep making out? So, and then And then when we met Sarah and Denise later, they're like, where were you? And we had no excuse. We just said like, oh, we didn't know we were supposed to go to the movies with you. Like, what do you mean? Oh, well, we didn't know you were serious, or but just it was just the worst
Lie?
lie.
Did they ever find out that you were smooching at Kinsman Beach?
I don't know if they put it together or not.
Well, I don't think anyone knew for the longest time that you two were an item.
Well, I remember that in the staff lounge for a while we'd sit at opposite ends of a couch and we'd rub each other's feet. And we both had very ticklish feet.
Yes, you were very ticklish.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be unusual because people rubbed, gave massages or rubbed each other's feet lots.
Yeah, and I think that was a stepping stone. Like, I don't think, like, why would you give a massage to somebody?
Unless you like them.
Yeah, like, hey, Jim Brooks, here, come on, man, let me rub your shoulders.
I gave massages to people all the time.
That you weren't
That I wasn't. Yeah.
hopped up for?
Yeah.
But it was better. Like, sometimes you get in these lines, these massage lines or something. You had to strategically place yourself where you wanted to be in that line. Right?
Right, absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Yesterday was your birthday.
Yeah.
How old are you?
54.
54. Wow. That's crazy.
Is it crazy?
It feels crazy because
Well, you're like 57, right?
almost. Yeah.
Are you 57
I'm
now?
56. I'll be 57 in December. But I don't feel 57. Like, do you feel 54? Do you still? I feel like I'm still at camp. I'm still young enough to go hang out at camp for a summer.
I think generally we have younger, I don't know, what can I say, personalities or...
Personalities.
I don't know. I think a lot of it comes down in the world to sense of humor. That the people who don't have sense of humor, to me, seem like old people. And the people who think everything is funny just seem like younger people.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I never would have thought of that.
Because I think about that, like if I'm at a committee meeting or something, looking around the table, like I think to myself,
These people don't have a sense of humor.
well, the people who take everything they're saying seriously, like, I don't know. I think that divides the world in a lot of ways. You think things are funny, or you think this is serious?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I don't think certain things are serious, but
you can usually find something funny in everything.
yes, and that was my father. That my father would like, would be in a restaurant ordering something, and like the waitress would walk away, and he'd say, "What was with all those questions? What would you like in your coffee? Like,
would you like toast with that? Home fries with that? You want a salad on the side?
What was her deal?
That's cute.
With all those questions. Everything was humorous. Yeah. I think that was the same with my grandmother. One time, the phone rings, and my grandfather picks it up. Hello? Hello? And he puts it down, and my grandmother says, "Who was it?" And he says, "Nobody. There's no one there." And she starts laughing and laughing and laughing. And she can't even catch her breath. And then we're like, "What's so funny, Grandma?" And she says, "Well, it must have been someone." That makes me laugh every time.
Cute.
Yeah. It had to be someone, right?
Yeah, it had to
Wasn't
be
no
someone.
one.
It was no one. That's funny.
Yeah.
How many years have you been married to Kelly Lipset now?
21.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And you're...
So I've known my wife 2/3 of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something, isn't it?
That is something.
I've known you 2/3 of your life.
That's right. But we haven't been as intimate.
No, we haven't. Although we did talk about it for a lot of years.
Yeah, the bath.
Yeah, the bath.
Like, I'm still up for that.
Yeah, having a bubble bath together.
Mm-hmm.
A bubble bath with friends.
Yeah, and like it wouldn't be
Sexual.
no,
No,
erotic
just-
or anything.
yeah.
It'd be,
Just a friendship bath.
that's the song I'm gonna play.
Friendship bath?
That's the song
Oh.
I'm gonna play for sure. If you want me to play a
I
song,
love that song.
that's what
yeah.
I play.
Can you remember all the chords for it?
We'll have to have an edit where I go away and practice and come back and we'll pretend I just remember it. But
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that song.
Yeah.
That's a great song. The audience will really enjoy it.
Yeah.
This song you're going to play, I had you play at my 50th birthday party
Mm-hmm. At Ethel's.
at Ethel's Lounge, and you got up and played guitar and played our bathtub song.
Yeah.
I call it our bathtub song.
It is our song.
Yeah.
I had another song I wrote for you one time, Lily Pad Girl.
Oh,
You are my lily pad girl.
never heard this song.
Oh yeah, I would have played it for you.
No,
I mean, you cried. I'm sure you cried.
I probably cried, but I don't remember this song at all.
Like early,
Can you
yeah.
remember it at all?
I have my songs written down in a book.
Lily Pad Girl. That's cute.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember hearing that song. Because you were in
That
the
would be a
lily
good one to
pad,
dig up.
and I was. You were in the swamp, and I was in the lily pad, so we were pretty much neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the in on the park was between us, but
Lily Pad Girl, though, that's a good name for a song.
that's a good name for a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
The lily pad.
Why did you enjoy living in, like, you could touch the walls
Yeah, yeah. It was
this way and this way?
It
Like,
was
why?
very small.
What did you enjoy about that?
Well, I loved that it was at Leech Dock. But what I loved most about it is I'm one of those people that I'm really outgoing. I really love being around people, but I also really enjoy my alone time. And at camp, the only time you get alone time was hardly ever.
Yeah.
So my alone time was in my cabin at night. I got to have my own bedtime routine. I didn't have to listen to other people get ready for bed, and I really enjoyed having my own space. And you and Kelly enjoyed the lily pad.
Even though the swamp was only like 10 yards from the water, I never thought of that as like
Waterfront?
waterfront. Like, I think about the lily pad, that seems like waterfront, even though it's
Yeah.
only like 10 feet closer to the water.
It's true.
That you probably would have heard like frogs or
Lots of
loons
frogs. And I also wanted to be at the lily pad because I thought if anyone came on to camp property, they would probably come in and dock at the lily pad, and I could be the enforcer and make sure nobody came onto camp that wasn't allowed.
You
to
could be
get
the
in.
one who got ravaged first.
Yeah. I would have done that for camp. Slow down the process so they'd have to ravage me before they could go ravage anyone else, so people had time to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we were neighbors.
Thank you for interviewing me.
You're welcome, Sean.
Are you,
So
are you
good.
crying?
No, not yet. I'm not crying yet, but I am excited for you to play the bathtub song.
Yeah, we'll have an edit here.
Okay?
I will think about what the chords and the words are.
Okay, I will go turn off the camera.
No. Oh yeah, we'll turn off the
Well,
camera.
okay, but thanks so much, Sean. That was great. I'm so glad that you let me interview you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this was fun.
I think we talked about jokingly for a long time having a bubble bath together.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how that started or why we came to that conclusion.
We were such good friends.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
And you had a bathtub in your apartment.
Yes. A very deep
Yeah.
bathtub, yes. Do you think you wrote it way back then? And that was probably 90.
I don't think I wrote it that long ago. No. I've
No?
just been fixated on the idea of having a bath with you that
Okay, let's hear it. It's an awesome song. I might have to do a little jig.
someday I'd like to take a bath with you like little big brothers and sisters. Oh, sorry.
Little big brothers and sisters do.
Someday I'd like to take a bath with you. If you want, your sister can join us too. We'd splash all around with the bath. I was already saying that line. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you like little baby brothers and and sisters do. Oh, God.
We should probably go eat lunch.
All right.
You hungry yet?
Sure. What's going on today? I thought actually we were going to Buffalo for a hockey game today.
I know, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you just came here.
No, but there is some sort of birthday surprise going on today, which I'm in the dark about, but is obvious from the
We
behavior.
are going to a really cool little place, and do you know what time it is?
The Leaky Canoe?
Yeah, and we may be meeting some people there by 3 o'clock-ish. So we should probably get a move on.
Surprise!
Surprise! Don't tell Kelly I told you.
No, she'll never find out.
Okay, excellent. I'm excited for this weekend. I think it's going to be super fun.
We have a funeral to go to tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah,
No,
tomorrow morning.
I didn't think that was happening.
I don't know.
Of your neighbor?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could be totally wrong about what this weekend entails then.
All right. Well,
We could just sit out here.
I'll just let it come to me. Really.
All right.
Whatever happens, it'll be fun.
Isn't it just gorgeous out?
Mm-hmm. Let me do it again. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you, like little baby brothers and sisters do. Yeah, I'd wash your back and you'd wash mine, and we'd have ourselves a platonic time. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you. If you want, your sister can join us too. We'd splash all around with the bathtub toys, and I'd sing rub-a-dub at the top of my voice. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you. Rub-a-dub-dub, two friends in a tub, dirty and stinky, getting clean, getting wrinkly, it's just hygiene. Oh my, now there's trouble. Someone made tiny bubbles and they smelt it. You must have dealt it. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you. Leave rinse and repeat till her lips turn blue. No tears, no trouble, no strings, no pain, and we watch our love going down the drain. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you. Someday I'd like to take a bath with you.
Woo! Thanks, Sean. You're good. That is clever. I love those. A couple of those lines get me every time. A platonic time. I always laugh at that part. It's really funny.
Yeah.
You're good.
Well, good.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Nice backdrop.
This is a lovely backdrop.